welcome to the Nick and Matt Show. Bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Streaming live on the Foundation Podcast YouTube channel, here's Nick and Matt.
So, first to win 2 in a row this year. We know you're out there. You're trying to win every single tournament. But if you had to gamble, what would be the over-under kind of from here on out? I know you can't predict the future, injuries and all that, but you're playing at a high level. You're playing the best in the world right now. You know, how are you feeling confidence-wise going forward?
Feeling great. I mean, I think that, you know, for me and just the winning 2 tournaments in a row just shows me confidence-wise that my game is where I need it. And I think I've talked about it before, but it's just, there's a lot of different ways to win a tournament. And, you know, the best way is to take a super consistent swing and a putt and all the different aspects of playing well and, you know, carrying it over to week in and week out. And I feel like that's something to where I'm not working throughout the week to find my game. I'm just working throughout the week to fine tune my game and keep it at the level it's at right now. It's a lot easier to do that as opposed to, you know, trying to, you know, change your swing a little bit and change your timing, try to find your putt throughout the week and then play the tournament. Right now, it's just, and so I think that's a big advantage and big difference for me from just years past is just fine tuning my game and just getting the reps in and then being confident in the tournament instead of like I said on tour, you know, you only have 3 or 4 days before each tournament to get ready. So yeah, that's the biggest thing is just being able to fine tune the game and show up to the tournament and know that my game is where I want it almost every week.
I think one thing that for a lot of players who really, you know, week in and week out watch these players play, one thing that you changed up a little bit this year was your putt, though, because originally you used to have one hand on the putter and the one hand, your offhand had a putter in it as well. You've changed it up a little bit to now you're going down with both hands, coming up with one, obviously. Because like it's a question that I'm curious about, like what is the comfort in that? Before you've always been an offhand, you would hold a putter in it, and now you've switched that up. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, so basically, you know, it's a great observation, and it's something that just like any, you know, me being, you know, what the putter that I am, I still change things. There's always something to improve on, to get better at, and so if I change something, it's almost always going to be for the better long term. So it may, you know, at first it may have, you know, a lot of times what's the saying? You take 2 steps back or 1 step back, take 2 steps forward, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So like once I was developing that. The both hands on the putter, it kind of like felt a little awkward, but I was just onto something with just holding the angle throughout this putt and just having my other hand on the putter just felt like it stabilized the angle from start to finish of the putter. And so whereas I couldn't do that if I was holding another putter. So the reason why I held 2 putters is just because I did that in practice and I felt comfortable on practice putting with a stack of putters in one hand and putter in the other, and I just rotate and, you know, pick up a new putter. So yeah, just basically, you know, for me, it was just, I felt like my form could be better and I felt like I could stabilize the putter and hold it on the angle throughout, you know, the downswing and the upswing of my putt. And it's been working and it's, you know, I'm just going to stick with it. But yeah, I was onto a couple things when I was practicing with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to drop the putter and just use one putter from now on.
There you go. And I definitely think, you know, going 100% Circle 1X over at Texas State, it definitely shows that it is working.
Yeah, so it's, you know, just like anything, you know, the first beginning of the season, it was a little bit shaky and for my standards, and then, you know, started stabilizing and started to feel more and more comfortable, you know, heading into the belt, and I putted really well. And then Texas State's obviously putted 100%. That was, you know, amazing. And so I think it's just a consistency factor. And I think that's what putting's all about. If you can find a way to be consistent. And I feel like my left arm stabilizing the putter all the way through the putt is something that can help me be more consistent, more, you know, hopefully try and have more 100% Circle 1 tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're averaging, and I don't know, do you know what you're averaging over your last 6 rounds? You've probably been asked a lot.
No, I mean, I haven't actually, I don't look at the ratings all the time, but I look at them when there's updates and like when I shoot a good round or something, I'll definitely look. But a lot of times it's funny, like I'll be hanging out with my friends or something. They'll be like, "Oh, what'd you shoot?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you know, just I felt like, you know, like a 1070." And they always joke like how I'm always within like 2 points, like I'm just guessing it. Nice. And so it's like I almost don't even need to look anymore because it's like, all right, I shot it, you know, a 1070 or, you know, a 1050. Like I know what it's gonna be, and I'm so good at it because I've been, you know, been guessing my ratings for so long. But yeah,
wow.
To answer your question, I feel like I'll probably average like a 1060 or something throughout the past, you know, 6 rounds that we played. What's the actual number I'm
interesting?
doing?
Yeah, interesting that you're. First of all, the observation that you can nail it right on just about is really cool. That's like a trademarked or whatever it is, proprietary rating system, and you just have it like in your head. You're like, that's what it is. Like,
exactly.
Anyway, so there's that, but the other side is that it seems to me like if you're that dead on most of the time, that now I'm interpreting, you said 1,060 is how you felt like you played. That means you feel like you're playing a little worse than you are because you averaged 1,071 over the last 6 rounds.
Oh, snap. Okay, that's crazy. That's awesome.
But that leads perfectly where I was going to go with this. Like your competitors are having a very hard time keeping up right now. Okay. In fact, they're not really keeping up. How much better do you feel like you can play?
I mean, as a top level, player and someone that I feel like I can, play at a high level consistently. And that's what makes me who I am, is because I can do this week in and week out, year after year. And so, to answer your question, I feel like it's repeatable. Like I said, with the way my game is right now, it's not like I'm throwing, random shots, getting lucky. Like, obviously that's always going to be a factor, but it's like, I'm not relying on that. I step up to a hole and I step up to a course, and I basically just see so many birdies out there, and it's like just practicing this week for vintage. It's just like I step up to these shots and I just feel so confident, and then the confidence just transfers over into the round, into the tournament, into a long 3 event tournament. So I feel like I can average 1060, 1070 throughout a long season, and so I'm really excited to get my rating and try and break records with my rating, because I think that's something that, I know there's flaws and stuff in the rating system, but with me playing how I am right now, and my putt with my new putt, with my arm stabilizing the putter, and having these new Wysocki Bomb 2021 Tour Series picks coming out, those are awesome. Those have been helping my upshot game a lot, and so there's just a lot of aspects of my game that are consistent. That's the best word for it right now, is consistent. It's one thing to get to a high level, and it's another thing to be consistent and stay there, and that's the hardest thing. And I feel like it's definitely possible with where my game's at right now.
Yeah, you definitely are consistently, obviously, playing the best, because you're averaging the 1070 rated rounds, and then when you're shooting those kind of rounds, like 16 down at Belton, you go and win Texas State. Like, are things just going your way? Does it feel easy out there? Obviously, you just said your confidence is through the roof right now when you're practicing, but is that how it is? Does it just feel easy? Like things are going your way?
Yeah, I think that goes hand in hand. Yeah, it feels like you're like the better shots you throw, the luckier you get, is almost how it seems like. It makes total sense, but like, I mean, and that's the thing. If you're just a little bit off, you're going to get unlucky because you're going to get a bad tree bounce here and there. But like, if you're just in general, you're just peering gaps and hitting lines, you're not going to. There's no room to get bad bounces and bad breaks. And when you're not hitting the basket, you're not getting bad rollaways and 3-putting. Like, so there's just so many aspects that feel like you said, feels easy and feels like you can just breeze through courses, and so I think that just it pays dividends. Come long tournament, long season. If the more gaps you're hitting, the less tree bounces you're getting, and so I think that it's just a huge confidence boost, knowing that I'm going to peer the gap and I feel like 100% confident leading up to the tournament and getting all my reps in and practice, and so there's a lot of variables that go into feeling confident, but I know what they are, and I know how to make myself feel confident going in.
Yeah. The confidence level, I saw the chat room even say, they're like, he's a 12 out of 10 right now. Like you're just, it's just permeating your confidence level. So with that in mind, and we just asked if things come easy to you, or does it feel easy? I don't say come easy. You work very hard, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you're in circle 2, I've heard, and I'm not going to say who I heard this from. It's a touring player, but they said that if they hit, let's say 2 putts from circle 2. If they hit 2 putts from circle 2, that's realistic. They're I wouldn't say satisfied, but that's realistic. If anything else over 2 in circle 2, it's a bonus. How do you feel about circle 2 putting? Like, out of 10 putts, how many do you feel like should go in for you?
I feel like a lot. So you're asking how out of 10?
Yeah. So someone said 2. Yeah. I'm curious what your number would be.
Yeah. No, I think I'm 5. I think that something like that. I practice a lot of putts from. That's the biggest thing that I think separates me, is I practice from there. Like, even if I'm not making, like, that's the thing with long putts like that, is you got to realize you're not going to make all of them, but if you can get a release down that's going to give you a better chance and have good height and good speed and have that chance to go in a lot more often than others, then that's already an advantage right there. So I'm going to 50, 45, 50, 60 feet, and I'm getting reps in with that. I'm feeling my release. If my release is off and I'm missing putts, I'm learning from that.
Mhm.
And so even when I'm missing, I'm learning how to make adjustments. How can I get more spin on it? How can I change the height of my putt from 60 feet so that way it's chain high and it's online, 5 out of 10 times, 6 out of 10. Obviously, I'm trying to make them all, but as far as averages, to answer your question, it all translates to averages, in the long run, in a long tournament. So, just the fact that I practice that and get the speed, get everything dialed in is such a big thing, because I know everyone always jokes with me like, oh, you're always putting over my head at the practice basket and stuff. Like, I'm putting from 30, you're putting from 60,
Yeah.
And so yeah, I see a lot of putts go in, so I can create confidence that way if they do go in. And then when they don't go in, I'm learning from that. So it's like a win-win either way. I'm getting the reps in, or I'm seeing my putt going in. That's a confidence booster in itself. So I think that just the amount of reps I put in from that distance is a big reason why I can separate and feel like I can make 4 or 5 instead of 2, like some players. So, and that adds up to a lot of strokes throughout a tournament, throughout a season.
I think one other beneficial point to that is, as you're practicing the reps from 50, 60 feet, your misses are also becoming smaller and smaller. Like, you're learning the consistency of, before I was airballing it out to the right, maybe now you're just missing short, where you're hitting the basket and it's just falling 2 feet from the basket at that point. When a lot of other players who aren't practicing these reps, their misses blow by the basket going another 20, 25, 30 feet. And now that comeback putt is obviously a lot harder. Obviously, there's different variables and situations out on the disc golf course, but I think because you are putting in the reps to practice those putts, you're creating a target that's this big, and you're putting it into a target now that is this big. So I think that's also one benefit.
100%. Yeah. I mean, and it goes with, with my style. I've always been a high to low putter. So, I mean, I think I can run those putts and I'm never thinking about missing it. Obviously, realistically, I'm not going to make every putt from 60 feet, but when I do, I'm not, like you said, flying by. Whereas someone that's, a straight at it putter or has a lot more speed on it is they're flying, 25, 30 past, and they, you're not going to make all of those. So like, just percentage game, just me putting with the style that I do is a big advantage to not 3-putt either, even from that long distance. I can still feel like I'm going to make it. And then if I don't, it's just a tap in. And I don't have to grind out a 25-foot comeback putt,
Absolutely. So besides for putting, what do you feel like lately, obviously with your success, what do you feel like has been your biggest contribution to it? I mean, I know you had just said your 2021 Tour Series pigs are coming out and they're better than ever, but I mean, do you feel like your upshot with pigs are what's saving you, or do you feel like your backhand off the tee pad? What's your biggest contribution besides for putting?
Yeah, no, I think, that's another great question, because, when you're playing, at a high level, there's usually multiple facets of the game that's feeling great. So I think for me, it's the backhand, just the overall consistency of it. I think that I've just toned down. I've learned a couple things, and, just like anything, I'm always learning, tweak my form a tiny little bit, with my reach back, with my head positioning, with my, timing of my run up. And so a couple things, like just with those things that I was saying, that I feel like are clicking, and it feels like when I'm under pressure, when I'm near the lead or I'm in the lead, I feel like I can go back to 3 or 4 solid things with my form that I can make sure that I'm doing right. And if I'm not, I can make sure to think about it before a shot, when I'm under pressure and high pressure situations, when the time when bad form and certain flaws in people's swings get exposed the most. And so that's when I'm the most cautious of it. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is feeling comfortable and confident under pressure because of the form changes that I've made. And I feel like that is what is repeatable as well, is me playing under the pressure and having a couple, trigger points in my head to say, hey, I want my arm like this. I want my head position like this. And, just making sure that I'm sticking to the couple things to make sure that consistently, every time I'm nervous or every time I'm in a high pressure spot, I know if I do that, I'm going to get the result that I want. And so that's a huge bonus, is just being able to do that under pressure. That's the hardest thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, getting away a little bit from disc golf.
Hey, that's always fun.
Yeah, although it permeates I'm assuming just like anything, you try not to bring work home, but it permeates who you
Yeah.
are, especially as a disc golfer. It's like a big part of your life, all of your life. But you have am I wrong in saying that you have a fairly large family, siblings wise? How many do you have, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, so I've got 8 total, including me. So I've got six sisters and 1 brother, and then me. So that brings us to 8. So I've got a huge family. They're starting to get into disc golf and stuff. I actually just spent an off week with them. I flew to South Carolina, and I spent a week with them. So that was nice to get some family time in and kind of just touch base with them and check in with them. So that was cool, and just kind of relax, like you said. Play so much disc golf. It's good to kind of check out a little bit. And I'm still putting. I'm still going to the course and practicing, keeping my reps up. But it's good to have a little break and go eat some mom's home cooking food and banana bread and all that yummy stuff. Take take 1 or 2 cheat days on the diet and just enjoy myself. So that was good.
Okay, so let me ask then, like in time off, besides eating mom's home cooked meals, which we all know is awesome. Like, what's something that you like doing? Maybe it was we've heard the baseball, that transition, but like right now, I know disc golf. Again, I'll say it probably takes a lot of your life, but like, what do you like doing? Playing an instrument, like video games? What is it?
I appreciate you asking that question. It really does mean a lot, actually, because it's awesome. I mean, everybody sees my disc golf, sees that me practicing, playing. But yeah, I mean, I try to for me, I try to get rounds in the morning. I'll go early to the course, get my reps in. 8 or 9 a.m. Play 2 rounds if I feel like I need to, and then have second half of the day to do some of my hobbies and stuff that I like. I like fishing. I like actually right now we have a fishing pond right outside, and so me and my tour manager we're always having contests trying to catch the biggest and the most bass and all that stuff. So
nice.
I love fishing. I'll take a paddle boat or a kayak or canoe, something. Go kayak around the lake, just kind of relax and ease the mind that way. I like doing that. I like to hike. I like to when I was with my family, I went hiking and we found like up in South Carolina, we're near the mountains, so we found like a real cold stream. So we went jumped into the cold river after the hike, and so that was nice to just kind of spend some time chatting with the family and hiking and enjoying nature and that kind of stuff. And then I've been investing in cryptocurrency a lot, so that's something I've been getting into. So that's a hobby of mine that I've really been enjoying. I've just been putting in the research, listening to YouTube videos, listening to crypto experts, and just trying to invest my money with that. I think it's a pretty good investment for me personally. But so yeah, those are a couple things that I like. I mean, and so that's like I said, I'll come home and listen to some crypto news, check the crypto markets, maybe take a couple casts here and there, and go, like I said, do some ice baths. I mean, not that that's a hobby; that's more of a health and wellness topic. But I guess that can fall into a hobby as well.
Nice.
Hiking, that kind of stuff. Canoeing, kayaking, exploring. I mean, just all that kind of stuff as well is all stuff that I enjoy doing also.
Totally cool. So, just as a follow up to that, if you couldn't do sports for a living, so disc golf is out and baseball or any other sport. What is Ricky Wysocki like drawn towards as like what you're good at besides sports?
That's tough, dude. You're putting me in a tough spot right now. I've been playing sports since elementary school. I mean, I was just the typical wanting to be an athlete as a kid. That was always my vision. I just knew I was gonna be something with sports. I didn't know it was gonna be disc golf when I was in elementary school, but I think I've always been, I guess, a trade. I've always thought trades are cool. I just thought it's cool helping people out, being able to build a house and stuff, be like a handyman. That would be something I'd love to learn, those skills. I just haven't had the time, but I think that would be something that would be really cool, being able to just build your house or help someone out, just around the house with all the knick-knack stuff. And that's just something I haven't, an aspect of life that I haven't really been able to spend time learning, like plumbing. I learned HVAC in high school as just a vocational school that we had. And so I was able to do that while I was in high school, just as a backup plan to disc golf. And so I kind of have a little background with that, but I think it'd be cool to learn plumbing, carpentry, all the different trades. I think are great to know and great to be able to help out people and stuff. I think that I would be something to do with that.
Awesome. All right,
yeah.
Nick.
So if you guys if I'm in town and you're and your air conditioner breaks, yeah, I might be your guy.
Sounds good. Hopefully it doesn't break during the MVP Open.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. I got Ricky Wysocki's phone number in here somewhere. Hey, Rick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a side business on tour.
We'll fly you.
Have
fly
a
you
phone
out to
behind
fix
the
it.
HVAC, all my equipment.
Well, as always, we appreciate you coming on the show. I think one last question that I have on my side of it, if you were to give one tip of advice, one line of advice to an up and coming pro disc golfer, what would you do? What would you say?
Love that question. I thank you for allowing me to speak and elaborate on that. But yeah, I think for me, the biggest piece of advice was basically, and I do this a lot with my game personally, like I was talking about with the putting earlier, is not just your putting, but in general, step outside of your comfort zone. If you're a C tier or a B tier pro that's only playing C and B tiers, that's great. You're getting exposure, but jump into an A tier, something that gets you exposure and allows you to feel what the pressure is that comes with playing a bigger event. And so then that way you can take that, even if you don't, like I said, with the putt, if you're going to 60 feet, not making everything, you're learning from that. Same thing when you go to an A tier. Hopefully you have a great performance and you can build some confidence on it. But even if you don't, you're learning how to play under pressure. Hey, look back and say, hey, when I was under the most pressure, what did I do wrong? And knowing that, all right, next time I can take 3 or 4 cue points in my head to where I can get better and say, all right, next time I'm in this spot, I can think of A, B, and C, and I'm going to do a better job at handling the pressure and handling the nerves. So it's almost like a win-win when you step outside your comfort zone. Either you succeed or you learn from it. And so I think that's the most important thing, and just go into it thinking that. And so it's go into it thinking that there's 2 things that are going to happen here. I'm going to either fail and learn, or I'm going to succeed and get better. And either way, you're taking a step towards the right direction and becoming a better player. And what goes along with becoming a better player is being able to play at the highest stage, and that's going to help you with that. So I think that's the biggest piece of advice I can say. And because it shows you specifically what you need to work on once you're under pressure, because that's where people's weaknesses get exploited the most.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that piece of advice. Definitely stepping out of your comfort zone. A lot of people have always said playing any sort of sport, you're usually going to get better by playing better players. And I think obviously that comes from, you're going to find better players at the A tiers than you are at your C tiers for the most part. You're going to find a more majority of better players at those events. I mean, look at, the tournament that just happened, Lone Star. Someone said there was like 30,000 rated players at it, and it's just a B tier. Obviously, there's a lot of added cash into it, but tournaments like that, stepping outside your comfort zone, and I definitely, the exposure aspect of it is huge in and of itself. So appreciate that tip.
Yeah. No, I think, like you said, playing with the better players, but like all the stuff on top of that, what I said is all, you hear people say that, but you don't really see why. And so that's just trying to explain, the reasons why it's important to step outside your comfort zone and disc golf especially. But yeah, like you said, with the Lone Star, that was crazy. That was a huge field. It's basically like an A tier, but a B tier, A tier field, and a C tier on PDJ. But yeah,
no pressure to your siblings, but I've seen some videos where they've played with you. Do you think that, I don't know, I feel like they would have a better opportunity to get better quicker? I'm not necessarily putting a pressure on them, but playing with you, they have a better opportunity. Do you feel like, and maybe you can't speak for them, do you feel like they have aspirations of trying to get into disc golf? Any of them?
I know. I honestly wish I could tell you they did, but unfortunately they're not as motivated and passionate, I guess, as I was. As much as I would love it, they love to play, and it's the type of thing to where, like, when I come into town, I get them to play and practice and stuff, but then as soon as I leave, they don't play as much. So it's kind of frustrating for me. But my sister is I would say, out of my whole family, my sister, she's Vani Wysocki. She's 19 right now, and she's solid. She has a lot of potential. She's been playing for like 5 years, and just kind of under the table. She doesn't really play that many tournaments and stuff, but she's got a lot of potential. She's a really good putter, which that must run in the family, because like that's the best part of the best part of her game for sure. Like she's working on she's dialing in her drives, but her putting is, like, I would say it's like comparable to some FPOs right now. Like it's really good, but yeah, she just doesn't practice overall as far as her whole game goes. She's not ready, but I'd love to see her getting out there and play. That'd be fun to see a sibling out there. It's always cool to see, multiple siblings on, like when you see in basketball or football, or brothers on the team, or you know, that's really cool dynamic. So I wish that one day that would happen. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We want to respect your time, Rick. So we don't want to keep you past what we said. So is there any shout outs you want to do as far as anybody who deserves it or you think should get the shout out?
Yeah. No, I just want to thank all the fans and stuff for supporting you guys and supporting me for sure. Thank you guys for the great questions. I mean, you guys asked a great variety. I appreciate that. You asked some non-disc golf questions, some disc golf questions. Is a good balance, and gave me some questions that I could elaborate on even outside of the disc golf realm. So thank you for that. Thanks for the great show. Thanks for having me. And thanks for informing me that there's other disc golf podcasts out there too.
Oh, that was fun. And I have to say, I don't laugh more with an interview than I do with you. So I appreciate the smiles, but
dude, I love it, dude. Thanks for making me smile. I'm glad I can return the favor.
All right, go catch a big fish.
Go get a 2021 Tour Series pig. Help support Ricky and all his adventures out in the world.
Yes, thanks, guys.
All right,
appreciate it, y'all.
Ricky, peace out. Go catch a big fish right now. No.
All right,
man. Bye.
I will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.